What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Knives of the Round Table, and this time we're gonna be taking a look at the Fox Knives Vox Suru. Okay, and this is a tiny little knife. So let's get started. So this is made in Maniago, Italy, by Fox Knives. So you can see the little fox right here. I love their logo. And this one actually drew my attention. Jesper Voxnaes is a designer that is kind of in my head. He does a lot of designs for a lot of different knife makers, and every time I see one of his knives, I'm like, oh, that's a cool knife. And then you turn it over and it has his logo, and you're like, yeah, got it. I know why I like it. So this is one of the latest ones I got. There's many different versions of this knife. The one that I got was with I think they call it the Arctic Storm carbon fiber, which has this blue and the black carbon fiber on the show side, and it's a titanium frame lock on the other side. It's a really small knife. The blade, as you can see here, less than 2.5, probably, yeah, over 2.25, but not quite 2.5. So it's a really small knife, but because of the design, because you have this very generous finger choil. Look, that's a full 4-finger grip, and that's kind of how the knife wants to be gripped. So you're right here, and you're like right up against the action. You have full control of the blade, and you can do very fine cutting with the knife. So I think that's something that the knife has going for it. It's done in 20 CV, so great steel. And you know, let me give you some size comparisons so that we can get started with the review. Like I said, it's a fairly small knife. So that's the mini bug out. So you can see how small the knife is, and that's a full-sized bug out. So it almost looks dwarfed, right, by the mini bug out. So it's a small knife, but if you see the 4-finger grip on the bug out is 4 fingers, and the grip on the Suru is also 4 fingers, including the choil. So you can get, you know, I have large hands, size L gloves, but you can tell even though it's a very small blade, you get a fairly good purchase on the knife. Comparing it, that's the Para 3, and that's the Para 2. So again, a really small knife. It's you know, even compared to the smaller Para 3, it's just, you know, it just dwarfs it. If you look at how it carries, it's tiny by comparison. I mean, it's almost a good 3/4 inches this way. It's a 1/2 inch that way. So this one will carry much better in the pocket. So I've touched on ergonomics a little bit. You know, you get a full 4-finger grip on it, and you know, it's a small knife, so you know the ergonomics are not going to be great to start unless you have really small hands. But I would say that for this size of a knife, the ergonomics are actually really good. You know, because if you have, you know, you have the neutral handle of the bug out, right? But the ergonomics on the Suru are just much better. The knife tells you exactly where to put your fingers, right? It tells you put a finger here, the rest go there. There's like this break in the scale right here that tells you where your pinky and your ring finger go. So ergonomics are actually fairly decent for a small knife. Again, I don't feel like it fills my hand, but I only need a knife to fill my hand when I'm gonna be doing some hard cutting with it. And this is just, you know, at a 2-inch blade, you're not gonna be doing a lot of really hard cutting with it. Now the action is really poor. It's very mediocre. You know, it deploys, but sometimes it fails, like that time. So you have to kind of go for it when you flip it. The action feels gritty, you know. I don't know if you can hear it, but it feels gritty. It doesn't feel smooth at all. You do have a lock bar insert in there, but you know, the action deploying it is it doesn't feel nice. Obviously it doesn't drop shut. Usually blades of this size don't drop shut, but you know, it doesn't feel glassy smooth. Okay, nowhere near like a, you know, Chris Reverse events or something like that. The action, I mean, it deploys, but it's not something that you're gonna fidget and enjoy the experience. So I wouldn't call it a good fidget knife. If you want something that is small to, you know, to carry around or to throw in your backpack as a secondary or something to that effect, I think this will do the trick. But definitely not something that I enjoy flipping, you know, sitting watching TV, flipping it back and forth. No, that's just not what this is good for. Fit and finish. Fit and finish is I would say okay. You know, there's the blade came centered. There's maybe no, yeah, it's centered. Like I said, you know, you can fail the deployment at times. It's greedy. It feels raspy when you deploy it. And in all honesty, the carbon fiber, I think it looked better in the pictures. If yeah, that's never happened before, right? But the blue, it's like this muted blue that is not quite a vibrant blue that you would want. And you know, you get the carbon fiber, which is a nice contrast, but then you get these patches, and I don't know if you can tell, these small patches like here and here, where it's not quite blue. It's almost like indigo, like a greenish thing. So the combination of colors for the carbon fiber is definitely not my favorite. I think it looked different on the photos. I think the blue looked a more vibrant blue. So you know, I don't think it's very attractive. I think it looked better in the photos, or maybe in my head. It's got this dark wash on the blade and the lock side, and I think that's actually fairly attractive. I like that. I like that quite a bit, because it's not. I think it is a coating, but it's done such that it looks like it's more of a dark wash. You know, if that makes any sense. You have this ceramic ball clip, which works actually fairly well, except the space between the clip and the scale is very small. So you're, you know, if you have like jeans, then it's tight in that space. So I guess you know, without really knowing, I kind of veered towards the area of agreements there. Cutting. I think it cuts well. It's fairly tall blade, but even as tall a blade as it is, it doesn't come down to a very thin edge. It's sharp, but you know, as soon as you behind the edge, right at where the secondary bevel ends, it becomes kind of a thicker knife. It doesn't come down to that thin of an edge. So it'll cut, it'll open packages, it'll do some minor tasks. But definitely it's not the one that I would reach for if I have to do a lot of cutting. I don't think it slices particularly well. It's okay, but this one, you know, as far as knife, when I do my knife reviews, you know, I try to be as positive as I can with the knife, but at the same time I don't want to mislead anybody. And this is not one knife. I mean, I have it and I haven't sold it, because I like looking at it. I like the lines of design, but I wish it was executed a little bit better. Like I said, the action doesn't feel great. Sometimes I fail to detent, and you know, those are things that I enjoy doing with my knife, and I don't feel I can do them with this one. So dislikes, like I said, I think the action is greedy. The carbon fiber looked different in the photos, and now there's other versions of this that have a textured carbon fiber, and I've heard that the texture is really bad. So just careful when you get this. I think there's a titanium version that may be the one to get. for this knife if you like the lines of this one. I've tried to finger flick it. It's not easy. You can, but it's not easy because when you have such small knife, your finger curls too much, and when your finger tries to push out, it's more like your finger's pushing up than out. So you kind of have to rearrange the knife to be able to flip it correctly. So I don't think this is a knife that I would recommend unless you are, you know, in love with the blade shape. You don't care about, you know, a little bit greedy action, and you know, especially if you have smaller hands. I think this could fit your, you know, even though I have size large gloves hands, and it fits my hand well, I just feel like you know, it disappears in my hand. So there you have it, guys. If you want to go for it, obviously everybody's field is free to do with their money as they please. Obviously I bought this, but it's not, as a reviewer, I don't think it's one that I would say, yeah, you should go out and get. Take a look, make your own decisions, but hopefully my opinion gives you some direction. And if you enjoyed the video, if you think I earned your subscription or your like, then do those. And until you see you again, take care.